Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah bil Rabbi Alameen. Maliki Yawmiddin. Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Nas. Malikin Nas. Ilahin Nas. Min sharri waswasil Nas. Alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin Nas. Minnal Jannati Wan Nas. Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem, Islam. Peace and love to everyone who is listening. My name is Yeldell-Bey. I'm a Muslim. I've been a Muslim now for about 4 years, and I'm now currently celebrating Ramadan for the second time. All praise is due to the great God Allah. I'd like to rise and give praise to my Father God Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, who is almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible, and giving honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, as well as Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon both of them. I wanted to talk a little bit about what Islam is. What is Islam? Because during this Ramadan, I've started to realize that there's so many misconceptions about Islam, and so many ideas about Islam that are just not true. So I figured I'd do my part, my little bit of dawah, and at least speak a little bit on the topic of what is Islam. I have some writings from Noble Drew Ali. I wanted to paraphrase at least from those, because I feel like he definitely summed it up very well. Give me 1 second. What is Islam? By Noble Drew Ali. What is Islam? Islam is a very simple faith. It requires man to recognize his duties towards God Allah, his creator, and his fellow creatures. It teaches the supreme duty of living at peace with one's surroundings. It is preeminently the religion of peace. The very name Islam means peace. The goal of man's life according to Islam is peace with everything, peace with Allah and peace with man. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, tells us that the final abode of man is the house of peace, where no vain word or sinful discourse will be heard. The holy divine prophet Noble Drew Ali says that a follower of Islam in the true sense of the word is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts do not hurt others. The object of man's life according to Islam is its complete unfoldment. Islam teaches that man is born with unlimited capacities for progress. Islam does not support the idea that man was born in sin. That's a Christian concept. It teaches that everyone has within him the seed of perfect development, and it rests solely with himself to make or mar his fortune. The cardinal doctrine of Islam is the unity of the Father Allah. We believe in one God, all mercy and all power. He is perfect and holy, all wisdom, all knowledge, and all truth. These are some of the great attributes so far as we can understand. He is free from all defects, holy and transcendent. He is personal to us insofar as we see his attributes working for us and in us. But he is nevertheless impersonal. Because he is infinitely perfect and holy, we do not believe that death, decay, or sleep overtake him. Neither is he a helplessly inactive or inert force. He neither begets nor is he begotten, because these are the traits of frail and weak humanity. This unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar of Islam, which is called Tawheed. This unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar of Islam, and every other belief hangs upon it. Excuse me, there's a helicopter passing by. This unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar of Islam, and every other belief hangs upon it. So, the word Islam does mean peace. And so, even seeing Islam, when people say religion, we have a misunderstanding, in my opinion, in my study of the word religion. We just have a misunderstanding of what that is. To us, religion is reading a book or praying, and it's so much more than that. Religion is knowing your place in this world. Religion is being able to recognize the harmonies and the virtues of life, right? Knowing that those harmonies and virtues are within you and bringing them out of you. That's religion. And that's the cord that binds all religions. It doesn't really matter what your religion is. And that's why I don't even, myself being a Muslim, I've been a Muslim for 4 years now, and other Muslims that you will come into contact with, many of them will say the word religion because it makes the most sense to the average mind. But it doesn't really encapsulate what Islam is. Islam is peace, is the best way to say it. When you say that your religion is peace, that's what you're saying. Islam, if you're saying your religion is Islam, you're saying that your religion is peace. You're a person of peace. That's what a Muslim or a Muslim is, right? The word Islam comes from a root. The root in Arabic and other languages, it's all by the root word, right? And then that root word has different consonants that are put inside of it, right? Or different vowels that are put inside of it, excuse me. So it's all the consonants that are left over, then the vowels that are put in. So for example, a Muslim may say Islam, or Assalamu alaikum, or Salam, right? So Islam, Salam, right? That's actually the same word. It comes from the same root, SLM. In English, you would just say SLM, and that's the root word of it all, right? Which means peace. It also means unity. It also means understanding. It also means wholeness. It also means safety. But these things, peace is the greatest approximation, right? And then likewise, Muslim or Muslim, right, is a person of peace. Mu or Mo being a person, SLM being peace. So Muslim or Muslim being a person of peace. And so that's what Islam is, and that's what being a Muslim is, or a Muslim is. You also hear the term mu'min, right? So being a Muslim or a Muslim means that you have stepped into the Islamic world. You've taken Shahada. You know that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his prophet. So you've stepped into the world of Islam. But being what's called a mu'min means a believer, right? So you can be a Muslim but not necessarily be a believer. A believer is someone who actually applies the teachings of Islam into his or her life and allows it to spill onto others and allows them to direct their life, right? That's a mu'min. So you may be a Muslim, but you may not be a mu'min. Being a mu'min, it takes practice. It takes application, right? And as you apply the knowledge that you're given by Allah, you gain what's called wisdom. And that's what wisdom is. Wisdom is knowledge that has been applied to your life. That's why our elders often say that they are more experienced than us. It's because they've had more time to apply the knowledge that they have. So with greater time and greater opportunities to apply that knowledge comes greater wisdom. That's where wisdom comes from. I'm thinking about if I miss anything. I'm sure I missed. It's Islam is a world. You know what I mean? It's a world, and so I probably missed so much in saying that. The idea of reverting, why we say reverting, because Islam means peace. Peace is the natural way of life. It's just naturally what life is. You understand what I'm saying? So we as people, we divert from peace. When you understand what Islam really is and what being a Muslim really is, every baby, regardless of whatever religion it's taught, is born a Muslim. Is born a Muslim. You understand? Every baby. It doesn't matter who it is, what color it is, every baby is born a Muslim. Every baby. Right? Because everyone loves peace. Look at a baby and know that it loves peace. It doesn't take much to see that, right? So we pull away from that peace. We pull away from that oneness with the Creator through our own carnal words, acts, and deeds, like I just read to you. We have the seed of perfect development inside of us, yet we found ways to debase ourselves through various things: drinking, smoking, cursing, sexuality, like overt sexuality, you know what I mean? Slander, just hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, everything that harms, right? These are the things that push us away from that peace and from that original state that we came into this world in. So that's why people say they revert back to Islam, not convert, because you can't convert to peace. It's not possible. You know what I mean? You simply revert to peace. I always say that being a Muslim and following Islam is sort of like going to sleep. I don't know where I heard this from. I can't remember. It might have been the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I can't remember. But basically, when you go to sleep, you can't try to go to sleep. You don't try to go to sleep, right? You simply let go and you fall asleep. That's what Islam is. It's you can't try to be a Muslim. You have to let go and be a Muslim, right? You have to submit and be a Muslim. You have to surrender and be a Muslim, right? And that's something that's very difficult for people, you know? I always find it funny. People say, man, Islam sounds like it's too hard. And for them, maybe it is. You see what I'm saying? Maybe it is. Because peace for a lot of people is hard to get, and it's even harder to maintain. Well, peace in general is, well, you know what? I'll say peace is easy to get. It's easy to get. It's very easy to get. You find peace every day. But it's very difficult to maintain, right? And it's even harder to maintain it for a prolonged period of time. That's even harder. So, and then of course, you know, they hear other things about Islam that, you know, may or may not be true, or may just be cultural in nature. You can't do this, you can't do that, or you're going to hell, or you can't do, you know what I mean? These sort of things that may not even be true, you know what I mean? It may be a reflection of the culture or the Muslims that practice Islam in that culture, but they may not be indicative of Islam as a faith or Islam as a reality, right? I once heard Islam being called a science, and it is. Islam is the science of yourself. Islam is the science of your higher self and your lower self, right? Your lower self being this body and the thoughts that come with it, the mind, all the things that debase you away from the one, which is like the literature I was quoting to you earlier was saying that the unity of Allah, the unity of life, the unity of life itself, the fact that, you know, there's microorganisms, there's protoplasts in the ground which make up the earth, and the earth houses the tree, which is a plant, and the plant feeds on the earth feeds on the protoplast, the birds come and feed on the plant, and then man comes and feeds on the birds, and man then is buried back into the ground and then decomposes and goes back to the protoplast, right? It's all a cycle. It's all harmony, right? Everything has its place. That's Allah. That's the unity of life. And that's another differentiation between Islam and other religions, especially Christianity. I was raised Christian. I was raised Christian Baptist. I became a Muslim when I was 21. I'm now 26, so I've been a Muslim for about 5 years now, or 4 or 5 years now. 5 years now. And what I'll tell you is that in Islam, Allah is not like seen so much as like a singular deity so much, you know what I mean? It's a spirit. Allah is a spirit. Allah just is. You understand what I'm saying? It's like a force. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible, you know? But Allah is like harmony. Allah is just all. Allah is all. The good, the bad, the ugly, the temptation, everything, the trials, everything. That's Allah. You know what I mean? But I'm going on a tangent. It's easy to go on a tangent about Islam because it's so beautiful, and it's changed my life in so many ways, and just given me such abundant peace that surpasses tranquility. Tranquility that surpasses raptures is what I meant to say. when you find that peace, it can be intoxicating. You know what I mean? So much so that people find you to be absent-minded, or they find you to be a little what they call slow, right? Because you're not thinking about the same things as everyone else is thinking about. You're not even thinking on the same level as everybody else. Your mind is much slower, you know? You find time to meditate on certain things. You find time to really go inside yourself, and with that comes an era and an air. I meant to say really an air of just calmness and just a subtlety about yourself. You know, the Quran calls it eminence, right? And eminence means light that comes from that person. In this world, which is just filled with darkness, it's filled with deceit, it's filled with people stabbing each other in the back, it's filled with everything. When you find that rock of salvation, which is Islam, when you find that rock of salvation, which is knowledge of yourself, it doesn't matter what you go through. It doesn't matter what you go through. You can always return back to that feeling. When you're drowning out in the cares of the world, which is this ocean, this vast ocean, you still find yourself being swept back to shore. You can stand on the shore and dry off. It's a good feeling. Anyone who's interested in learning more, I highly recommend you go to www.mooresciencetempleofamerica.org. That's my temple, and you can learn more about, especially if you look like me, you can learn more about our history here in this country and all over the world, more about Islam, more about Jesus. Muslims do believe in Jesus, right? We love Jesus. I think I've never met anybody in this life who doesn't love Jesus or believe in Jesus. Even the ones who hate Jesus, the fact that you hate him means that he's intimidating to you. He's intimidating to you. You know what I mean? His power and his majesty that emanated from him is just too much for you to comprehend. You can't understand that a person was able to pull that out of themselves so highly and then turn around and say, what I can do, all men can do. What I am, all men shall be. Jesus said that. And that shocks people. That's too much a lot for people. But yeah, as a Muslim, I love Jesus. Everyone, I think all Muslims love Jesus. I can speak for every Muslim when I say that. So yeah, you want to learn more about Jesus, seek to learn more about his life, works, and teachings, go to www.mooresciencetempleofamerica.org. And happy Ramadan, everyone. The sun is going down, as you can see. That's part of why I'm out here, trying to wait it out. It's time for me to go cook and eat, you feel me? I'm about to go eat, you feel me? I'm out of here, dog. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah bil Rabbil Alameen. All praises due to Allah, man. Peace and love to everybody listening, whoever you may be.